Welcome to Wednesday and welcome to the Contrarians live chat. Our topic tonight, great album covers by bands we despise. We are live and we want to hear from you. Let's do it. Whoa, everybody. Hey, we are live and it's Wednesday. I want to welcome the panel tonight. We have Michael Adano. We've got Jamie Laszlo. Martin's here and Peter Kerr is here. And we tried to go live, but StreamYard gave us an error, like they're all backed up. I don't know if it's the fires in California, it's the snow in the Midwest. I don't know, but everything was all backed up. But we are live now. And I want to welcome everybody here. Nice to see you. So, Michael, nice to see you. Jamie, Martin, of course, Peter. So, everybody in the chat, I see Jeff's here. Sorry that we're a little bit late, but, we're 5 minutes late, but we're fine. So, tonight's topic. Oh, God, this should be some show. And we do want to hear from you in the chat. We're looking at great album covers, but the bands, we're not big fans. So we're just going to do it. We're going to go 3, 3, and 4. I'm going to start out with Mr. Ladano and then Jamie, Martin, and Peter, and we're going to go around like that. So let's get started. We do want to hear from you. We will catch up to the chat. So, all right, Mike, go. You're up. Give us your 3.
Okay. Well, this was very challenging because, first of all, we have to define that we despise this band, and that's a strong word, right? I equate that to hate. So for I guess this is a hate list for me, and hold the tomatoes. But my first band on this hate list is The Doors. I do not like Doors.
Wait, I need to fix that. Hold on, everybody. Everybody calm down. Oh no, look at that. You can't. Well, you don't need to see me, but there we go.
There you go. I've never been a fan. I've had many people over the years pester me. You got to listen to the Doors. I mean, you like Zeppelin, so you'll automatically like the Doors, was one guy's. I don't, but I like that album cover. I love the logo. I've always loved that logo.
God, I love the Doors
with the screwhead O's. And I love the way that the one dude's face is Jim Morrison's eye. I love that, it emphasizes Jim Morrison's the guy. We're a band, but hey, we're not going to lie. Jim's the guy. So great album cover. Can't stand the Doors.
You need to go into some counseling, maybe.
What
is it about the Doors you don't like? What is it?
I get it.
I don't get it.
I didn't. Pretty creepy and depressing, right?
You guys don't like the '60s. That's the problem.
It could be kind of droning.
Maybe that's what it is, Jamie. And
absolutely brilliant.
I like them.
I figured Peter was going to be against me on this one. But,
come on, settle down. It's all right.
Settle down.
Settle down.
They do sound like the soundtrack to an episode of The Munsters, don't they?
Oh.
Yeah, but tell me what else sounded like that at that time.
Nothing ever sounded like that ever again, until maybe.
Well, that's what it's about, though, because they set a precedent. They were doing something that no one else was doing.
Okay, so Pete Jones says, "Stand firm, Michael. Love what you hate. Hate what you hate."
I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be some episode. So yeah,
it will
get ready.
Hopefully, be the last appearance.
Hopefully, this next one doesn't get tomatoes thrown. But I am not a fan of a band that is very big right now. They're having a huge moment, but Linkin Park. I love that album cover, though. You see a lot of album covers with the gas mask motif. But what I like about it is actually, I like the formatting where you get the song titles on the front cover. It kind of, it strikes me as something modern, but yet retro at the same time. And like I said, I'm a sucker for the gas mask motif. But I do not particularly care for Linkin Park. I've watched a lot of Transformers movies, so I've heard a lot of Linkin Park theme songs, and they're catchy, they're anthemic, but it's not my gig. It's not my bag.
The Elder doesn't like the Doors because they don't have a bass player, but there's a bass player playing on the sessions. Oh, Elder.
And a lot of people can't tell when a bass is being played with just like pedals anyway.
But he was still doing he had the what was it? The Fender Rhodes keyboard thing that did the bass?
No, I it's not the lack of bass that I don't like the Doors, but I don't like the Door. What can I say? What can I say? I don't like them.
I don't know. You're disappointing me again.
Well, I'm going to disappoint a lot of people with my final of the third, the third.
All right,
there.
keep going, or we're never going to get. I'm going to be quiet.
No.
We'll never get through this show.
I hate this band. I hate Nirvana. I'm sorry.
Oh goodness sake!
Great album cover. I saw Peter shake his head. Bleach is a freaking great album cover. That I guess that's a negative. That's a negative of a black and white photo. I mean, doesn't that just speak? Doesn't that tell you something about the music that you just bought? Love it. Brilliant. Can't stand the band.
Prince loves sexy. Can't stand the band. But why? Back yourself up.
Well,
don't say you don't like it.
I mean,
why do you don't like it?
I was entering university when Nirvana hit big time in 1991. I hated them immediately because they were seemingly responsible for the death of all the bands that I liked. But it was the simplicity of it. The melody that he sings is the same melody that he's playing on the guitar. I like the drummer. I've always liked the drummer. Hated the bass player. It was the simplicity that I really didn't like. And I'm uncomfortable when I have to explain myself on these bands that I hate, but I guess that's what's coming up tonight, isn't it?
As long as you can back it up, I think it's great.
Hang on, let's take a quick look at the comments.
Yes, because it's
right in there. Used to dislike Nirvana when grunge first happens, but have made my peace with it and them. Like them more than Pearl Jam or some of the other groups in that style.
There you
we've
go.
got a discussion going about Molly Hatchet already. Jeff Halvarson's with us. Prince loves sexy. Oh wait, reverse that. Let's see. Let's see. Molly Hatchet. Yeah, flirting with disaster. Molly Hatchet. Royal Scam. Steely Dan. Donald obviously doesn't like Steely Dan. No, he hates Steely Dan. Because I can't get into them even though I should.
Poor Donald. Good Lord.
What else we got here? Gary's with us. Gary Joyce, how you doing? Don't like the Doors because they don't have a bass player, says the Elder. There's Peter again. Yeah, Peter's got a whole philosophy about all of us allowed to have our own opinion kind of thing. He's got a whole
I'm sure.
Many album covers from generic metal bands I liked in my youth: Evanescence, Scorpions, Metallica, Sepultura, Pantera, Rammstein. All right, on to Jamie Laszlo.
All right, yep.
All right, I'm gonna be honest. I thought of some bands I didn't like. I googled them. I looked for their album covers, and I said, "Oh, that was a pretty good one. I'll include that for some of these." And I can't remember what the album covers look like that I picked. So we're all gonna be surprised together.
That's fine.
I think I know what this one sounds like or looks like. Dave Matthews Band. Despise them. It's kind of you know what that looks like? It looks like a Peter Gabriel album.
It looks like a
hood ornament.
Looks like a hood ornament.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's a slickness to it, I guess. Some kind of style to it. It's not bad. It does remind me of a later day Peter Gabriel album for some reason. Dave Matthews Band, best way to put it is every note I don't want to hear next is the next note they play. Best way to put it. I left parties because of them back in the early 2000s. I left bars because of them. Because back in 2002, people just didn't play one Dave Matthews Band song on the jukebox. They played like 5 or 6 in a row. And then you hear a couple other songs, and then here comes the other guy, and another 4 or 5 in a row. Let's get the hell out of here.
Dude, I worked at a record store with 2 or 3
down.
people from like the younger hippie generation. I had to listen to 2 or 3 Dave Matthews live albums in an evening.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I was at a pool party, and they played a mix CD. My buddy was like, "This just wait until the CD's over. It's max 80 minutes. When it was over, it went on repeat." And he was like, "Let's get the fuck out of here."
I've never heard of them. They kind of couldn't get arrested in Australia. Who are they?
Aren't they in the Rock Hall of Fame? No.
Yeah, that's
they made it, right?
Yeah, they just made it. Very jammy, acoustic, hippie, modern day hippie rock.
American.
I don't mind bands like that, but yeah. Next one we can all agree on: Coldplay. Viva la vida or death and all his friends.
Yeah, I've never heard that.
Oh, I hate that band.
I think the album cover is kind of cool. I remember when it came out, And I was torn with Coldplay. I knew the Yellow song. I'm like, it's not annoying. Is that what it is? Yellow? Is that the right color? This had Violet Hill. And I remember when it came out, I thought, it's not bad. And then I heard the rest of the album and I was like, nope. They're pretty bad. But I like
Peter, just to interrupt for a sec, I looked up Dave Matthews Band. I was kind of curious. So the debut album, 6 times platinum, Crashed, 1996, 7 times platinum.
Yeah.
Before These Crowded Streets, 4 times platinum. Every Day, 3 times platinum. Busted Stuff, 2 times platinum. And there's more after that. Another platinum and a gold.
They sold a lot of records. So
Well, that's Planet Earth for you.
it's Planet Earth. Well said,
Like
Peter.
all
Well
different
said.
things.
Yeah.
Well said.
Next one we can all agree on. These are like low-hanging fruit bands. All right. Imagine Dragons. Terrible.
I don't know if I've ever heard them.
That looks like almost like a prog metal album cover, kinda, or prog rock. But
It looks like something generated via AI.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Can't stand the
And they're
vocals.
considered rock, and they're not rock. They're not even close. So, I like to imagine a world without Imagine Dragons.
Okay, and get this. So their debut in 2012, Night Visions, 8 times platinum in the States. Then a double platinum. So now, 2015, we're starting to lose physical product at this point. Evolve 2017, 4 times platinum. Yeah,
Shit sells, man. People like shit.
Another platinum.
Well, no, they've
unbelievable.
liked shit forever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
100%.
So much stuff going on outside of our purview that is massive, right? Yeah.
The Elder says, I'm more curious about what bands the panel despises than the album covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why
Well,
we're doing this.
Kind of true.
Yeah.
Little segue.
All right, so that was your third one?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool.
Okay.
All right,
well,
Martin, whatever you want to do.
my first 3, I've got T-Rex the Slider.
Oh, goodness gracious.
T-Rex
This
to
is...
me just sounds like badly recorded children's music. Every time I play it, I get
Oh, for God's sakes,
Is this
Martin.
band all about? But I love that album cover. It just looks so decadent and cool in New York Dolls. I think it's an amazing, amazing album cover with that big hat, kind of a precursor to Slash, I imagine.
You know who took that photo?
No, who?
Ringo Starr.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I own a bunch of these albums over the years, and every time I play them on, I don't get it, right? It just seems like a little tiny band of 2 people playing cross-legged on the floor, kind of.
Well, are
thing.
you talking about the folk stuff or the later stuff?
I don't know. Even the later stuff, even when it gets noisy, there's no production, right? It still sounds
Tony
like they're busking.
Visconti.
It sounds like they're busking, basically.
Oh my goodness gracious.
Maybe
You
I don't
guys,
know
this
what
is
I'm
why I'm not doing this show.
Okay, all right.
I'm just hosting.
Next, we've got Doobie Brothers with What Were Once Vices Are Now Habits. Doobie Brothers, I own a pile of their records, but just never kind of got. I did a podcast episode once of my history in 5 songs called What's the Point of This Band? And I don't know what the point of this band is. They just kind of make general rock music of whatever kind of lights their fancy, right? But I always love this album cover. It tricked us probably as kids once or twice. They look like they're just absolutely rocking out like Made in Europe or something like that. It looks like just the most insane live show you've ever seen. And of course, they're just playing China Grove, which is one of their heaviest songs, and it's a pile of crap. It sounds like a Bob Seger song, basically.
It looks like this should be a live album, and it's not.
That too, yeah. Okay, my last one for this batch is Mike and the Mechanics' Living Years, which I happen to have a CD of it. I just wanted to talk about Mike and the Mechanics and how insanely 1980s this band is. But I don't love this album cover to death, but I do like the logo. I think it's pretty cool. And the picture of the guy there with the inset picture. It's a nice, classy album cover for probably the most 80s band that was ever invented. So there you go. That's my first 3. Let's just take a quick look over at the comments here. Doobie Brothers, Michael McDonald. That's the point, of course. That's Lowell George cover was good.
Well, we did a Lowell George show last night in the warehouse. So
yeah, okay.
Marlon was there trying to rip us apart, but he likes it. So okay.
All right. Warrant, Dirty, Filthy, Stinking Rich looks like a cool punk album. Well, we know you don't like Warrant there, Troglodyte. Let's see. Singles better. I think
I actually hate that cover.
To listen to. Let's see.
It makes an appearance, so hold on.
All right, over to Australia.
Yeah,
Okay,
Peter, you're
strap in, people.
yeah.
All
No
right,
shit.
this is going to get ugly. I think this is the most overpraised band in the history of popular music, and I'm talking about the Beach Boys. This is just barbershop quartet music.
Oh,
They
goodness.
play their instruments. Brian Wilson's not a genius, and Pet Sounds is boring. Okay,
Nice.
just digest that.
Oh, I'm digesting it.
It's
not
hard
sure.
to argue.
But
My
of course, you're showing one of the worst Beach Boys albums of all
I've
time.
listened to Pet Sounds so many times, and I played it in the car, and the car was drifting off the side of the road.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's just keep going.
Oh
Well,
my!
we've lost him.
Oh my! I think he was booted.
No,
Yeah, there you go.
I booted him.
Look at that. You're high tech, man. Good
There you
job.
go.
Would you
All
say
right,
the
Peter.
Beach Boys
Sorry,
are
I don't mean it personally. I'm just
would you say the Beach Boys are your second favorite band, Grant?
they're up there. They're in the top 10.
It's just the barbershop quartet music. I don't get it.
All right, let's just keep going. We don't need Peter on this particular show.
What's this next one?
All right,
the next
Peter,
one.
go, because I can't handle it. Keep going to the next.
Well, this band gave a
Oh,
good
this is
reason.
going to piss off some people, so go ahead.
Yeah, well, this band was a good reason for punk to occur in 1977, and I'm talking about Genesis. That's just pretentious art rock rabble. And this band got progressively worse when Phil Collins took over. I don't like this band at all. I've tried to get into them, but I think it's just pretentious rubbish.
Wait a minute, but you like this cover?
Yeah, they got way better covers.
That's a
than that. They got
horrible
concrete.
cover.
This cover that you
Because
picked.
it's soccer. It's just, sporting.
All right,
It's
everybody.
awesome.
I'm going to put Peter Kerr's email address down below so you can send all the hate mail,
It's
all
all
you
right.
Genesis fans, to him.
I'm in a different country. That's all right. Pearl Jam versus.
Oh,
Now
God.
you're going into
Now you're getting into Jamie's territory. Now
I
it's
love
being
the album
personal.
cover. I have tried to see this band. I've seen them live. They're just so beige and boring, and they're just so anti-rock star and earnest, and it just makes you miss the theatrics of rock. Look, I just don't like the singer. I don't like the songs. I've tried so hard, but I just don't get it. So
Eddie
sorry,
Vedder
Pearl
is
Jam.
Peter's picking the worst album covers by the great bands.
Yeah, like I would have
Yeah,
gone for
Mr. Grace.
binaural.
I thought it was the other. He's picking the worst album
Yeah,
covers.
Pearl Jam does have some really good album covers.
I'm not a fan of that one though, Peter. I'm
No.
sorry.
No, that's
I'm never going to be invited on Rock Daydream Nation again after tonight.
Oh, well.
I don't know, but this show we thought we had fires out in California. This may set the internet on fire.
Yeah, it's okay. Bring it on.
All right. Well, I guess we're back to Michael because Grant.
because I'm not
Grant just
doing it.
said
No,
he's
no,
not
no.
negative enough. He's got.
There's
nothing.
not, to be quite honest, there's really anything that I despise. So
You hate Guns N' Roses, Grant. You might as well.
yeah, but I don't, but I don't have any opinion on their album covers. I think their album covers suck too. So what is there?
music and new metal out there? You could have picked.
I have no idea about new metal. Come on.
All right. Okay, on to Michael.
Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Grateful Dead, self-titled.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I made some comments earlier about working with a bunch of hippies at the record store and having to hear all this stuff, and I'm just not a fan. But I love that album cover. It's groovy. I love his hat.
Great record, great album cover.
I can barely believe that's Jerry Garcia. But yeah, isn't that a wonderful album cover? It's got so much going on there. And that really brings you back to those days where you would put on the record and stare at the cover for the entire duration of the record and just, pick out the details that you like. Maybe try to draw it yourself. It really brings me back to that era. Hate the band, love the cover. I don't think this next pick anybody will be taking too much offense to, but have you ever heard of a band called the Aquabats?
Yes.
Okay, so you've heard of the Aquabats.
Yeah.
I love their album cover for Fury of the Aquabats. I'm not a fan of this kind of music. I find them really good. I don't find them very catchy. I mean, I like a bit of ska. I love the boss tones, but I don't find too much about the Aquabats that I like, except their freaking image and their lead singer who's named the Bat Commander. I mean, come on. Look at that. Look at that cover, man. Look at those hats. Look at the faces they're making. I love it. And I also love that little splash in the corner.
It's all shtick.
Newer. It's all shtick. Yeah. It's a shticky band. But, having said that, I do like some ska and whatnot, but that's not my bag.
What is that genre called? What are they called? The squirrel nut zippers or whatever. What was that short-lived jazz band?
Squirrel nut zippers.
What was that?
Wow.
That was like
it's ska, but it had more jazz in it, right? I hate every one of those bands. I could have gone to that genre and just picked them all out and stuff.
What was that called?
Squirrel nut zippers.
The Brian Setzer Orchestra were doing stuff, and
not rockabilly. It's
that's more rockabilly.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, later on, you're right. It was
Setzer did that album with the swing. Anyway,
I don't know. Swing jazz. I don't know what
it all came from that movie Swingers. Remember when?
Swingers was
swing
a great movie.
Music. Everybody's coming in swing. It's all swing revival.
It was something else. But anyways, ska also. I just have a very low tolerance for that. I don't like any ska bands. Although I love Madness, but Madness when they stopped being ska, that's when I love Madness. When there was less ska to what they were doing. Not that they had a lot of that, right? But English beat. I try. I can't get in the English beat.
Oh, I love the English beat.
Yeah,
love it.
Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. They were all
the police. Sting. The police. Sting love the English beat.
Yeah. So that was one way that we could have approached this: is go find a genre you just can't stand, and there'd be a bunch of bands waiting there for you to put on the show, right? So. Anyways, Michael, do you got any more?
One more.
Keep going. Keep going.
I try to have something from every genre in my collection, but this next band I'm going to get tomatoes thrown because I've never liked the Deftones. It's just too new metal for me.
What the hell is it?
I never got the love.
Oh, there it is. I got it. There you go.
There's no melody in their music.
Isn't that a crazy album cover though? Doesn't it? It reminds me of Faith.
It looks just like an owl. It's an owl.
It's a beautiful picture. It is. It's an owl. It's beautiful.
It's like Drake and his OVO thing, right?
His eyes are just as pitch black as you don't like the cover, Grant? I think it's beautiful. Well, it reminds me of Angel Dust.
To be quite honest, it looks like something they bought from like just a supplier of photos, and they went, "Oh, there's an owl. Okay, let's just use that for the cover."
No, for sure.
And
I mean,
they paid $50 for it.
They didn't like hire out an owl and do a photo shoot with an owl for an hour. No, definitely, you're right. I just think it's a beautiful. Okay, I'm getting tomatoes thrown. It's all right.
If you played me a Deftones song, I don't know if I could identify it. So
no, I couldn't. There's no way I could.
Okay,
but I like that. Maybe I just like owls. I don't know. I didn't think this was going to be a controversial pick, Grant. Anyway, that's my third.
Well, this show is already on fire, so it's okay.
All right, let's take a quick look at the comments. We've got Peter not liking Wasp, evidently, with Golgotha.
Yeah, I saw that.
Maybe he doesn't like a band called Golgotha who has an album called Wasp. I'm not sure. But let's see. We've got John Lennon's Two Virgins. So John Lennon's catalog is pretty patchy.
We don't want to see John Lennon's penis, for God's sakes.
Let's see. We got more Pearl Jam here. We got more Genesis mentions as Douche Rock. Could have been on our Douche Rock episode, right? Pearl Jam is responsible for Scott Stapp, says the Elder. Good point. Absolutely true with the Jarl, right? The marbles in the mouth singing, right? That's what that's all about. Let's see. Beach Boys, more Beach Boys.
More Beach Boys.
So yeah, people are just kind of coming out of the closet with what bands they hate, more or less, right? Mm-hmm. It's let's see, all those 70s Kiss covers means Jeff maybe doesn't like Kiss. You can let us know. Oh yeah, you said so. I don't like Kiss, but the covers were
cool. Jeff, for God's sakes.
Whip Dream and Other Delights should have been way more dangerous with that cover. Remember, Soul Asylum did a redo of that cover. Dangerous Toys. Peter maybe doesn't like Dangerous Toys. I kind of like that band. I think it's pretty cool. All right, on to Jamie.
All right, my next 3 or 4 are going to be kind of contrarian. This next band I find intensely annoying. I cannot make it through a song, let alone an album. And that is Extreme. Waiting for the punchline. God, I hate this band.
You're going to cause LaDonna to have a heart attack.
Oh, they're so annoying. Oh, I hate that funkiness that they put in there and that. Oh no. Yes. Not an awful cover though.
And they goofy singer.
The next one has to do with the vocals. The music is all right, but the vocals, Merciful Fate. King Diamond's vocals, I can't do it. Even when Rob Halford gets a little too high too often, I'm like, come back down, Rob, come back down. This album is iconic and really cool, though, the cover. Yeah. So can't get past the vocals. And yes, I like Soundgarden, I like Nirvana, I like Pearl Jam, I like Alice in Chains, but I do not like me Stone Temple Pilots. Oh,
yeah.
Why?
Terrible.
But why? What do you mean they're terrible? But why are they terrible?
Oh, it's like everything cool about the other bands stripped away, and you're just left with the basics.
What the hell does that mean? What does that mean?
The layers are taken away, and you're just left with. You think Nirvana's too basic? This band is just.
You're saying that this is more basic than Nirvana.
Yeah, especially you listen to their first album, Core. Oh, that's all you get is the core. You don't get anything around it.
Oh,
you get
for
the
goodness
apple core
sakes.
without the
You can't
apple.
write about Core. Yeah.
Core is terrible. Purple.
Okay.
I used to like a couple songs on Purple. What was it? Kitchenware and Candy Bars or something? I thought.
Harv, come on. Come on. They don't
and
suck.
I'm like, no, I don't know why I like, but that's a cool cover. Kind of like
also subconsciously, Jamie, it's because they were like menacing, and obviously one of them died of a drug overdose, and they just had this surly sort of feel. They, possibly a bit pompous, right? All of that stuff, right?
And they sounded like a copycat from day one.
Yeah, I know. And they had attitude, and if you called them grunge, they freaked out, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they were really grunge.
Oh, they were grunge.
They were marketed as grunge. I don't think they were grunge.
Beatlesque with tiny music. They tried to experiment.
I know, but Core is the mean median average of a grunge album, like drawn up by committee almost, right? You can't deny that. So,
yeah, it's
like
they did. You know what? I bought the Crow soundtrack on vinyl, and I played it, and I was playing the Stone Temple Pilots song on that, and my sister was even like, "Is it on the right speed?" Because the song sounded slower than we remembered.
Yeah.
I just imploded. Yeah, I did.
Right.
It's all right. It's all good. It's all in good fun.
All right. Was that 3?
It should be.
Okay.
It should be.
All right. My next choice is Marilyn Manson with The Last Tour on Earth. Marilyn Manson has a lot of good album covers. This one's really cool and apocalyptic with that burning cross on it. Try as I might, I was there for all of this stuff. We were writing for Brave Words and Bloody Knuckles and covering this band. I think we covered them a little bit, maybe not a lot, because I don't think we ever got an actual Marilyn interview ever. But I would play this stuff, and technically speaking, maybe I could have come to like it. It is heavy. It was new and modern. But I just found like the rhythm so stilted and just a lot of noise. It had nothing to do with the image or the lyrics. It was just, it sounded like a pile of noise that didn't rock. It was just kind of like awkward all the time. And I don't think the vocals were very good either. So try as I may, I couldn't get into them. My second one is another Try As I May band, the Talking Heads. I went with Fear of Music. I was a big fan for the most melodic album they ever did, Little Creatures. I was on board for that exciting period. But as much as I go back and try these other albums with all the experimentation and the little twee productions and the layers and the African music stuff and the percussion, I just never could find much to love about the Talking Heads. I love this album cover. Of course, the original was actually embossed, to feel like a grate, like a road grate, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of, or
I always
corrugated.
found it interesting that you like the King Crimson 80s albums, but you don't like Talking Heads.
Well, but those are so full of exciting guitar and cool vocals and Adrian Belew's personality and amazing drumming from Bill Bruford and amazing drum sounds. And these guys were always trying to sound like little mouses in the corner in the library. And then when they weren't, it wasn't even them doing it. It was all like guest stars, right?
Well, Adrian Belew's on this record.
I know, but I don't know. I just don't care. It's just at this point they're a bunch of noise to me, and early on they're not enough noise. Put it
I think this band's genius.
Okay, so my next one I actually do have a copy of because I literally have a pile of graphics.
Oh boy, here we
I
go.
do not like this band, but I do like this album cover. They got a lot of bad album covers too. Grand Funk. This is the band that there just seems to be a worldwide conspiracy that everybody has a different set of Grand Funk albums than me that are all heavy metal. And I can never find anything heavy about these bands, even on the Red album or whatever. Nothing about this band excites me at all. I just find them, except Mark Farner's finely chiseled chest, I suppose, on the cover of the live album. But other than that, no. And that's a great album cover as well. But this band just is just boring. They're not heavy. They're too traditional. They got kind of the same, rootsy lack of imagination as Bob Seger does, or actually Bruce Springsteen for that matter, with just this really conservative sort of, music coming from old rock and roll and Motown and all that. Anytime anybody says, "Oh, Grand Funk are so heavy, go listen to this, go listen to that," I can never find it. I think everybody has a different set of albums than me, like I say. So there you go, Marilyn Manson.
All right, real quick.
And Grand Funk.
So Sydney, you should know by now you shouldn't dog XTC. So now I'm going to put you in timeout because you just pissed me off.
Absolutely. XTC is amazing.
Come on, Sydney. How many times do I have to put you in timeout because you pissed me off? Stop it. Be careful.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
See. We've got Cradle of Filth album cover, says Kirk. We've got a mention for calling Robert Fripp a whack job, says Marlon. Yeah, he's a little eccentric. Favorite Marilyn Manson song, I Don't Like the Drugs, But the Drugs Like Me. It's a great title. Talking Heads are incredible, says Mr. Buckets. Obviously they're highfalutin art, and all that kind of stuff, but I don't like the art they make. See, that's the other thing. We can respect bands sometimes, but they want to make art that just rubs you the wrong way. It's it's art, but it's not the kind of art you want.
Yeah, but it might rub you the wrong way, but it might not rub Michael Ladonna the wrong way.
I know. I like what Jamie said, the next note they play is exactly the note they don't want. I don't want them to play. That's what happens with them. And whether it's a note or a whack on a drum or whatever, or a vocal style or a bass line, it's never what I want to hear with Talking Heads.
Look, Mr. Frickin' Martin getting tough on the American bands.
Yeah, well. All right, so over to Australia again.
Okay. Simply Red. Can't stand this band. Picture Book. I don't like the band. I don't like Mick Hucknall.
Where are we? Oh, there it is. Sorry, I'm with you. There we go.
Yeah, it's just fake white soul, which just sold by the bucket load. I like the album cover. Kind of reminds me of those old Elton John, Rod Stewart, sort of.
It looks like a Dexy's Midnight Runners. It looks like a Dexy's Midnight Runners.
Yeah, it does. But weren't Simply Red pretty critically acclaimed, though? I'm just throwing it out there.
Yeah, Mick Hucknall was the biggest wanker in rock. I don't like him. Silverchair.
Okay.
Terrible.
Neon Ballroom. They're like Nirvana in pajamas. This is their third album. They started to get all pretentious and art rock, and it's just dully boring. So,
what was the first Silverchair thing? They had
Frog Stomp. It was huge.
Tomorrow.
Was that the song that was huge?
Tomorrow.
I kind of like that song.
Was awful. Yes.
Yeah.
I like that song.
But they had a bit of a career in Australia going to #1 with all their albums, and I just don't like them at all.
Marlon, I'm not drinking anything from Scott Lade. No, I'm not drinking Mountain Dew.
Hang on, guys. Peter, they had a massive career in America because Frog Stomp, 2 times platinum in the States. Freak Show went gold in the States. Neon Ballroom went gold in the States as well. Wow. And you're right. 6 times platinum in Australia. And then multi-platinum everywhere in Australia. But that's still a considerable career in the States, right?
Yeah. So it was declining fortunes. It really became Daniel Johns, who's the lead singer's solo band with the other 2 blokes. But just not my cup of tea at all. The next one I want to celebrate, or a way of speaking, is the genre acid rock. Or no, not acid rock, acid jazz. I hate this genre. It's very boring. Brought out all the folks wearing pork pie hats and turntables and saxophones, and it's just a deadly dull genre. And I'm talking about Jamiroquai and A Funk Odyssey. this guy thought he could sing like Stevie Wonder. He's wearing these ridiculous moose hats, and it was just hippie, dippy crap. So A Funk Odyssey, Jamiroquai gets the thumbs down from me. That's probably the best of the album covers. It kind of looks kind of disco-y, spectacular, but this genre of music is just bankrupt.
I've never heard that.
Rant is over.
I've never heard it.
Yeah, it is a bunch of noise. You know, I don't know if they're acid jazz, but every time I try Stone Roses, who the UK just loves to death. Can't stand Stone Roses.
That first Stone Roses album's great.
I know
It's
it's
genius,
absolute.
Stone
It's
Roses.
considered one of the greatest British albums of all time. It just sounds
It
like a
is.
bunch of noise.
It is.
It is, yeah.
Exactly.
We'll do it.
All right,
deal with
on
it
to
instead.
Martin, we agree, Peter. And Martin goes, all right, on to the next, on to the next.
Oh, well.
All right, keep going.
All right. Well, I guess this is it, right? This is the end.
last four, yeah.
I
final
suppose. I don't know.
All right.
Are
So
you
I'll
doing? Did you say a Doors pun?
It wasn't intentional. I'm gonna go in order of like least hated to most hated. So we'll start with Avenged Sevenfold. Hail to the King. I like that cover. I love the fact that it's only half the skull. You only get half. You know, kind of reminds me of Aerosmith's Greatest Hits or whatever, where you only got half.
It reminds me of a Danzig album cover to me.
Yeah, that too. But I don't care for the band. They did one song that I liked. That one song that sounded like Metallica. But otherwise, it's just it's not my thing. That's you're getting the impression here that I don't like any modern metal, I guess. But yeah, I guess I don't.
You're listening to the wrong modern metal.
I must be, and I'm willing to take suggestions. So please and thank you. Next up, a band called the Strumbellas. Anybody who like had to work in an office in the 2010s in Canada probably had this music piped in on their phones like I did. This really annoying song called what was it? I got guns in my head and they won't go. Bullets in my head and they won't go. It's so terrible. And their lead singer, you know that guy Captain Obvious that does those travel ads on TV, got the beard and the hat. The lead singer for the Strumbellas looks exactly like Captain Obvious. Exactly like him. I hate this band with a passion, and I love to spread my hate to the world. That's a great album cover. I love it. I love it. Love the disco ball as the sun.
Wait a minute.
Nice.
Sorry to interrupt. Jeff Halvarson gave us a dono of $10. Thank you very much. This is a good show. And also, Peter is correct. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. Anyway.
I've wasted enough time on the Strumbellas. Let's go to the second last one. Album cover I genuinely really, really love. This is a band called Trickster. And I've never liked the band. They just hit me at the wrong time. I was not interested in this kind of music when they came out, but I love comic books. I grew up with comic books. I love comic book adaptations of real people. And I think that is a brilliant album cover. I really do. I think you never liked it, eh? Okay.
I don't like it either.
Or when it came out, I remember putting it away, going, "Oh, what the hell is this?"
I'm with Jamie on this.
Fair. That's fine. I don't think Drew Masters liked the cover either when he wrote his review in Meat Magazine. But
Meat Magazine.
Yeah, it was like meat with dots like wasp.
Stood for metal events around Toronto.
Yeah. It was a great magazine. I've got a whole episode on that. But regardless, I used his reviews as a Bible, basically, when I was buying my albums. And he gave it a decent review, but he did say the cover looked a bit kiddie. And I get that. I guess that's probably why, part of why you guys don't like it. But I think it's great. What can I say? I think it's great. My final pick here, though, is I'm glad my buddy Uncle Meat is watching because he's going to appreciate this. And this might also get me banned from Rock Daydream Nation. I don't know. Little band, I'm going to put my foot down here. I've loved this band for a lot of years, and I think I hate them. I really do.
Why?
I've loved them since 1984, and I think I hate Motley Crue.
Oh, my. Well, I did use that for the thumbnail. So
yeah, so no big surprise here. Somebody was going to hate Motley Crue on this panel, and it turns out it's actually me, the guy who owns, up until the new one, every single Motley Crue album, sometimes in Japanese import with bonus tracks. I don't like him anymore. I think I'm done. There's a few bands that I think I'm actually done with as of now, and I think I hate Motley Crue, and I think I love that album cover, and I've always have. It's just, I don't know. It's just,
You're not even hanging on to a couple Motley Crue songs that you still kind of like.
I love them, but I hate them, Jamie. I mean, I'll always love certain songs, but I hate this band. I truly do. I really do. And look, Uncle Meats is Good Boy Ladano. Motley Crue are the brainless cavemen of rock and roll. But I love that cover, and I can't really. I'm trying to articulate why, because it's a dude's crotch, right? So I'm trying to articulate why I like it, and I don't know. I don't know why. It just kind of brings me back to that era. I would see posters of this cover on the wall, and I would not know who this band was, but it's like, what is this guy? Why has he got all this hardware on his wrists? What are the handcuffs for? And why does he have like a little string for tying up his pants when I have a zipper? I don't understand this, but I couldn't stop looking at it. And whatever that says about me, Dr. Freud will have to answer. But that is my final pick. Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love, the band that I love, that I hate.
Nice. Very good. Al obviously points out here that, of course, for the record, that is a rip of the Sticky Fingers album cover.
Right.
Let's see. We've got Grant. Don't think this was planned. Let's see what else we got here. More talk about XTC. Grant, I was only saying that because I know Martin loves XTC.
Well, I love XTC. Look, I've got the. What the hell?
Big difference from Talking Heads, I think.
Freaking shit.
Let's see. I'm with you, Motley Pooh, says Mr. Frankenfracken. The Kinks, just kidding, also plugging the next show. Let's see what else we got here. Blues Traveler. Yeah, Blues Traveler was another band that was fairly annoying to people with that high piccolo harmonica going all the time, right? Jean-Michael Jarre, Oxygen, says Rodrigo Alves. Eagles, more on the Eagles in a minute. But Jamie is next, right?
Hey, I want to thank, real quick before we go on, I want to thank everybody for tuning into this show tonight. We've been off for 2 weeks, but the numbers are good. We got 110 watching.
Wow.
Let's keep it interactive. This is great. We appreciate it. And Jeff Halvarson, thank you for the dono once again. So yes, Jamie, you're up.
Wow, we got to see your tranquility numbers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Grateful Dead. I do not like the Grateful Dead. Long Strange Trip, Best of the Grateful Dead, though, is a really cool album cover. Makes me want to like them. I will say I saw them live. Everyone used to say, you got to see them live. Well, they were coming to Pittsburgh, and Crosby, Stills, and Nash was opening at Three River Stadium, so I went, and it was my least favorite concert I've ever seen, ever. And believe it or not, they taped it, and it was put on a DVD for a box set. It's also on YouTube. So if you want to see the worst concert I ever saw, all you got to do is put in Grateful Dead 1990 Pittsburgh, and you can watch the whole day.
So you weren't doing the brown acid then at that show? Evidently.
No, I was on the floor because I worked at a record store, so we got good seats. For the Dead, everybody was standing around me for as far as you could see. I was just on my chair, looking at the floor going, is this the same song from an hour ago? Is this 3 songs later? I don't know. I don't care. Get me out of here.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, cool.
Next band. I used to, right at the tail end of my radio listening days in my vehicle, I haven't listened to the radio in 3 or 4 years in the car, or anywhere really. But I used to always hear this awful songs, and every time I Shazammed it, it was the same band, Pop Evil, terrible new metal, as bad as it gets. And the album cover is Onyx.
No idea.
Not a bad album cover, kind of cool, but the worst hard rock you could ever hear in your life.
I hate these guys.
Oh, they're terrible. They're the worst. They're like my next band times 3. The next band is Shinedown, which is just like the poster boys of bad douche rock. But that's kind of a cool cover with the snake and everything. But my God, listening to them, Martin says it sometimes that he feels car sick when he listens to certain bands. This shit makes me feel car sick. Makes me sick to my stomach. Motion sickness.
Everybody seems in the chat that I don't think that. Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, we can all agree that Shinedown and Pop Evil are Pop Evil. Yes, they are evil. And my last one, somebody brought up Warrant, Dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking rich. I do not like Warrant, another simple, terrible hair metal band. But they almost had kind of like a mascot with the first album there. You know, if he wasn't so fat, you could brought him on stage and, you know.
They did. They had a rubber.
Okay.
Yeah, they had a rubber
did have a
version of this
mascot.
guy in their videos.
I wouldn't know. Oh, yeah, he was in the videos. Like, I don't like the band. But yeah, it's kind of cool. I dig the mascot type thing. And they should have kept it going maybe for the next album. Maybe they did. I don't know.
I don't.
But yeah, Warren.
Didn't they do Cherry Pie? That's
Yeah,
after
they
this,
did.
right?
That was a terrible
Warren.
album cover.
Terrible. The album cover's better than the songs on the.
They got a little heavier for the next album, right? Doggy
Uncle
Dog.
Tom's
Doggy
Cabin.
Dog.
got a
Yeah,
little
isn't that
heavier.
supposed to be a decent record?
Yeah, somewhat. They're dressed in leathers on it and all that stuff. So, all right. So, yeah, just looking over to the comments, we've got Winston saying Marillion had a few cool albums. So we don't know whether he likes the band or the album covers, but maybe he'll let us know there. Let's see. Leave Pop Evil alone. I have that tattooed on my back, says Jake, not from State Farm. Pop Evil, don't know them. Caramelized Marlon. Let's see. All right. So my final four. I've got the Eagles to kick things off with their greatest hits. Oh, I hate this album title. Their greatest hits, parentheses, 1971-1975, close parentheses. But obviously, I'm in the minority because it's one of the biggest selling albums of all time. You know, I went through a big Eagles phase. I never liked the productions. I never liked the drumming. The music is so simple. They tried to rock sometimes and always failed when they tried to rock. And, you know, I can't get out of my mind all the stories about the big egos and what kind of douchey people they were at the same time. And, you know, everybody's, you know, Don Henley doesn't have the greatest reputation, nor does Don Felder. So, yeah, I don't know. I actually went through a phase where I was kind of into them, but they do have some good album covers. This is one of the really cool ones, right? Looks like a ZZ Top album cover. They got that great logo that they used quite often as well. My next one is REO Speedwagon.
Oh, no.
With live. You know, this album cover is, they totally look like they're rocking out. We love that. You know, the back cover looks like they're rocking out as well. So, you know, famously, I've said it many times, but this was a band that we would be fooled into buying their records, and then they just weren't heavy at all. It's definitely another one of these, what is the point of this band? They're just making this general boring Midwest rock and roll that it's neither here nor there. It's not heavy. It's not soft. It's got a driving beat, but then there's a piano over it. And it's like, I don't know what they're all on about.
Golden.
All right, boys, let's just keep going. Peter Kerr, did you want to talk about this real quick? Martin, I'm just giving you crap.
Never made any sense to me, that band. No, that's fine.
Golden Country kicks ass on that album.
I like the fact that I can just delete people like
Yeah,
that.
I know. It is kind of cool, but
It's kind of
I don't
fun.
know nothing about this band kicks ass. I don't know.
Well, they're not a kick-ass band.
I know, but we just kept thinking they were. I mean,
Well, that's
obviously-
your problem.
I know,
That's on you,
exactly.
Martin.
I'm thinking they're supposed to be a certain thing, and they don't want to be that certain thing. But I just never got this whole Midwest rock.
Nine Lives rock's pretty good.
I know that's the heaviest album and heaviest album cover and Victim of Your Love or whatever it's called. Blah blah blah. Right. But my next one is Eric Clapton. Slow Hand,
Okay.
cool album cover. It's not a great album cover, but he's got terrible album covers. And this is another, you know, what is the point of this guy? Why is he making this kind of music?
Overrated.
It's a little bit like Grand Funk and REO Speedwagon. It's like, what is the point? And I just hate that song Cocaine, which obviously is a cover anyways. He didn't even write it. Lay Down
Lord.
Sally's kind of cool. I mean, there's some kind of neat stuff that he does occasionally, but it's yeah, I don't know. It's obviously he's not Eric Clapton, his God guitar hero anymore. He's just kind of playing this I'm permanently on a drift to retirement sort of sound, right? And then my final one is Bon Jovi with Bounce, and this is the band I always bring up, this Car Sick thing, because to me the productions of all the earlier albums, that's a great album cover. I've never even heard it, but all of the early stuff just has this coagulated, just kind of like polluted sort of drum sound and wheezy but ganged up vocals. It reminds me of like the overproduction of like Get a Grip and Nine Lives and those kinds of records, right? But yeah, always Just didn't like this band. Didn't like the New Jersey shtick of them, crossed with the hair metal thing. Just nothing about them appealed to me ever. And they just annoy the heck out of me. And I'm really annoyed how absolutely massive they are, right? Everybody just loves Bon Jovi. Just huge, incredibly huge band. But yeah, just never liked them. So those are my 4. Let's take a quick look here. Oh, we've moved the order around. Peter's going to be next. What else? What do we got here? Clapton was the 3rd best Yardbirds guitarist. Nice one, Winston.
Yes, that's 100%. Winston, you are 100% correct.
Yeah, we've got Electric Warrior by T-Rex. The cover is awesome. It makes you think it's going to be Marshall Goodness. And then you get that wimpy Cosmic Dancer crap. Exactly.
But that
after that, not so much.
But you have to admit, Martin, though, that Electric Warrior, that album cover is cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, Holland. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so let's move on to Peter for his final 4.
All right, Peter.
All right, the final 4. Now, this
Good
is
luck.
this is one of the greatest mysteries of the world. How did this band have a #1 smash hit in America? And I'm talking about Hootie and the Blowfish. This band is so bloody dull. The singer just drones. The music is beige. They don't go anywhere. So it's just one of the great mysteries in the world. Anyway, I don't mind the album cover. It's sort of, yeah, it's lively.
Yeah.
Anyway, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I find this band, if you combine Sesame Street with Sly and the Family Stone, you have Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's all the same. Funkada.
That is the quote of the show.
Yeah.
If you combine Sly and the Family Stone with Sesame Street, this is
just
what you get.
Their musical range is like, it's like that. Anyway, Mother's Milk. Live. This guy sounds like he's got ants in his pants. I don't like this band. They're sort of another sub-generation of Nirvana and genre grunge. Were they big in the States live? Big over here.
They were massive in the States. I got to
I
look.
bet you it was 4 times platinum,
Peter-
I'm going to guess.
Peter, in Canada, there was like a rivalry. Not in the States, too. It was like Hootie live, Hootie live, Hootie live. It was like those 2 bands. They were huge that year, that summer of '95.
And they've given themselves a head start by calling the band Live, but they're not really. They're sort of
So they had a debut, an indie debut called The Death of a Dictionary. I didn't know that. I did Certified. Then they had Mental Jewelry, 91 on Radioactive, and that went platinum. Then the Throwing Copper was the big one, 8 times platinum in the States.
And then there was a drop off.
10 in Australia. You're right, Peter. So they were massive in Australia, yet they're
Huge.
American, right? They're American, right? Yeah.
Yeah, they are.
And then Secret Samedi, I remember when that came out, everybody
When
thought it
Dolphins
was kind of
Cry.
like the difficult artsy follow-up, and it was a big drop. It went down to double platinum. And
Then they started using the vocoder, the dreaded
Then they had a
vocoder.
platinum. They had another platinum, and then after that, they're not certifying anymore. So, but still big in Australia, or big enough. So yeah, they had quite a career. Yeah, they were kind of like a creative grunge light band, right? They were in there with Candlebox, maybe, sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
They had like
so
6 or
they-
7 songs on the radio with that one album alone.
Yeah, 8 times platinum. That's nuts.
and they all sounded the same.
They did.
Yeah, and Marlon, Air Supply does suck. All right, I'll finish up with an Australian band that nobody probably knows here called Powderfinger. They were sort of like a standard version of Pearl Jam, Vulture Street. They were huge over here. They're as boring as batshit. And I am out.
Nice. Good job.
Wonderful.
Let's take one quick look at the comments before we head out here. Let me scroll all the way down. We've got, let's see, Red Hot Chili Peppers mentioned. We got another live mention. Air Supply. Yeah, Air Supply is easy pick. There's a lot of these. This was actually a really good survey of if we did a show on what the least sort of critically acclaimed bands of all time are in a way, critically and just fan backlash bands, because it's incredible how so many of these bands we talked about did so massive, but their reputation is just in the dumper now, right?
Right, like Hootie was huge, and now they're a joke. They're a punchline.
So funny, yeah, it's so funny.
But
I don't think anybody thinks about Hootie, to be quite honest.
Darius Rucker is making a career as a country artist.
Yeah,
That's a different animal.
Yeah, and
He's got, you know.
as well. So Yeah. I actually got him. I interviewed him when I did my, it was the Queen album by album book. So he's actually a speaker on the subject of Queen in that book.
Darius Rucker?
Which was nuts. Yeah. I don't know how,
cool.
how or why I got him, but I got him for that. I mean, the big one for that one is I got Paul McCartney for that, right? So that was really cool. But all right, Grant.
All right.
Time to wrap her up.
We're done. All right, everybody, because I got to go. Anyway, I do want to thank everybody for joining in the chat. It's been a fun episode, even though I didn't contribute. But all these gentlemen, I'm going to put their emails down below so you can email the hell out of them. So just do that. If someone
My address there. Come fight me.
Come fight Jamie Laszlo, ladies and gentlemen. He's down in Grove City. So just look him up. Anyway, thanks everybody for doing it. I want to thank, I just flipped the screen around. Mr. Ladano, Jamie Laszlo, Peter Kerr, and then of course, Martin and myself. If you'd like to be on these chats, we'd love to have you. We have a Ko-fi. Please buy us a pint or a cup of coffee. We'd love to have that. We have a Patreon if you'd like to support us that way. We also like donations just like what we got earlier. All right. Thanks, Jeff Halvarson.
Jeff.
Appreciate it. What's next? I have no idea. Well, Marlon, hold on. I saw Air Supply on the 80s cruise, but I didn't get his autograph. So there you go. Anyway, so I don't know what's next. More stuff coming. We're gonna start recording some more shows. So stay tuned. What's live next Wednesday? I don't know. We'll come up with something. So we'll see you next week. And keep it clean and wrap the rascal. All right, everybody. We'll see you.
Thanks again, folks.